What we have for a resupply is 1,000 gallon of class 3% class B foam. It can only be 3%. You can't use the 3/6 mix in it or else we're going to have some issues. It has its own centrifugal pump and a little gasoline engine to run the pump, which we'll get to in a minute as far as the maintenance and the controls of it. And it has a manifold of valves on it, which we'll go over the proper operation. It's already pre-connected to a ladder tender, so if you have to take this to a scene on the airport or elsewhere, it's simply a matter of driving the vehicle itself. What we're going to concentrate on is the actual operation of the trailer, though hopefully anyone that would be assigned to driving the vehicle is going to be capable of doing that without additional instructions. We have a 4-stroke engine attached to a centrifugal pump to transfer the 3% foam to a foam unit or to an engine. We're going to quickly go over how you operate this unit. The gas tank is here, pretty obvious, just check the gas. The oil check is here on the side. You unscrew this cap and simply make sure that the oil is at the top level of the cap. There is no dipstick on it. As far as starting it, it's electric start. Put the choke approximately halfway. Come to the right, put the on switch in the on position, and press start. If it doesn't start right away, add a little throttle. Leave the choke on for about 60 seconds, and then you can slowly wean it off the choke. We're going to go ahead and shut it off right now so we can continue with the information, but that's all there is to operating the pump motor itself. On foam 2.2, you can fill the foam tank from 2 valves, one on each side of the truck. On foam 2.1, you can only fill it off of the right hand side of the truck, but on this truck we can fill from either side. This is what it looks like on the left side. We'll go around to the right side and show you that. There we are on the right hand side of foam 2.2, and if you see, here's the foam fill valve for the foam tank. On this one, it's a little bit harder to access than the left hand side, but it's in the same compartment, center compartment on the side of the truck, and it is the same size fitting. Alright, what we're trying to show here is you have to get to extremely close proximity for the transfer line to fit. Ideally, you'd have a spotter standing by the foam unit where he can control the driver of the foam trailer and bring your discharge manifold perfectly in line with your intake, and then give the guy the hold up sign right there. You want it as close as possible, 3 to 4 feet probably maximum. Okay, as we said before, it's crucial that you get the proper distance and that you get the discharge of the trailer in line with the intake on the foam unit. Just for sake of actually physically measuring it, we're looking at a distance from the trailer to the side of the foam unit of 70 inches. So your maximum should be about 6 feet. Another foot and you're going to come up short. So bring it in close and tight and have a spotter so you're in line with the two couplings. The connecting line for this should be stored back here in the foam trailer in the line compartment. It's the only green line on the truck. There are some other lines that are used for filling the trailer, but they're not used for filling from the trailer to the foam unit. So this is the proper discharge line to use when refilling one of our foam trucks. 1.25 inches, obviously female on one end, male on the other end. Henry Garza came up with a different method than I use, and I actually like his method better, less chance of losing some residual foam. Henry likes to attach the gate valve on the intake side of the foam unit versus on the discharge side of the pump, and I agree with him. For most people, that will save the loss of foam. So that's the unit we're going to be showing you from now on, the method that we'll use. And this will be pre-set up with a female on the non-valve side and a male on the valve side. Okay, we have the connecting line so we can discharge foam from the foam trailer to the intake of the foam unit. We'll set that down for a minute. Very easy. Take your wrench. Take the 1 1/4 coupling off, or not the coupling but the cap, set it aside. Go up underneath into your foam unit. This is the intake port that we identified earlier for foam. A little bit awkward to get to, as you can see, but we should be able to get it with some finagling. You can tell from the residual foam, it looks like dry dishwashing liquid. Even if you didn't know which port went to the foam tank, you should be able to identify it that way. Okay, now we've got our discharge line. We'll go ahead and hook it up to the foam truck first. Make sure you place the valve in place so that you can operate it on and off. So make sure it's put in a place where you have room to rotate it on and off. Now with the valve this way, it's a little bit more awkward than if you have the non-valve end on it. But when you're complete the task of filling with foam, there's less chance of you losing residual foam when you take the line off. And again, I have to give credit to Henry Garza for that. He came up with that, suggested it to me, and I agree it's a better way than what I've been doing. I think it has less chance of losing fluid. As you can see, we have it where we can rotate this valve in an on and off position. That's imperative. You have to be able to do that. Now we'll hook up to our foam trailer. A lot easier here, plenty of room to work with. All right, we're now properly attached. Okay, here's the other method of hooking this up. This is the way I prefer. I think it's a little quicker. And if you're careful with what you do, you won't lose any more fluid this way either. But if you're not careful, you'll spill it all over yourself in the truck. At any rate, complete reverse of Henry's method. What we do is we put the valve on the discharge at the pump, and we put the other end on the intake to the truck. Because of the constraints of location, it's much quicker to hook it up without the valve in place. That should have that end. Okay, now we're going to put the valve over on the discharge end. What we want to do is leave the valve in the off position for now while we start up the pump and get ready to make our transfer. Okay, before starting the pump on the foam trailer, you want to make sure every single valve is in the off position, with the exception of the intake. So I've got my tank fill shut off, I have my 2 hand lines shut off, and I now open my tank to pump. That will allow gravity to feed foam into the tank. I have my discharge shut off at this valve. On the foam unit, we simply have a single valve to worry about. It's this valve here. It's on in the up position, as you can see, and it's off in the down position. All right, we're ready to pump now. We have everything connected. We have the valves in the proper position. We have our pump engine running about half of what its full capable output is at. The only valve I have to worry about now is opening this valve. Prior to pumping to the unit though, I place a man up top to do a visual as the tank fills. The tank will fill quite rapidly, and the only way to get an accurate take on how much is in the tank is with a individual actually watching it. So here we go. We're going to open this and fill the tank up. Okay, we've received the signal that the tank is full. At this point, we shut off the valve at the pump discharge like that. No more foam is going into the foam unit. We then come over here and we shut off the foam tank valve. Now no foam can backflow through the line. So all we have left is the foam in this line. We're going to shut our pump down. We shut it off with the off switch. Now, when I disconnect this, I can raise that line, hand it to him, and gravity will backflow whatever foam's left in this line back into the system, and we will have a very clean, unmessy transfer of the little bit that's left. Okay, we're undoing the coupling in the foam unit itself. If you keep some pressure on the line from the foam tender against the coupling in the foam unit, and then rapidly raise it up, you'll have almost no loss of foam whatsoever. Have the fella on top, raise it up, come back here, open this valve, and you can open the tank refill valve as well, and anything that's in that hose will now gravity feed into the tank. Your tank to pump can be shut off at this point. This can be shut off, and your tank fill can all be shut off. At this point, we should be able to undo this adapter, remove the line, and we should have lost very little fluid, and we'll be done with the refill.